Hello there and welcome once again. We're coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has met with Executive Council of the National Women's League at State House Entebbe this evening ahead of the International Women's Day to be celebrated in Sunga Chiruhura district tomorrow. The team, led by the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Honourable Betty Amongi, and the chairperson of the Women's League, Hajat Farida Kimboa, presented to the President their performance report and discussed ways to broaden involvement of women, youth and persons with disabilities in mobilization for wealth creation. Of Parliament from Busoga sub-region today met with Prime Minister Robin Anabanja to review implementation of strategic development projects in the region. Programs discussed include the urgent need for electricity connectivity, road infrastructure development, agricultural value addition, water distribution and mineral exploration. We have more in this story.
This meeting comes after the President directing the Prime Minister, Right Honourable Robin Anabanja, to hold regional meetings with respective members of Parliament to review and get updates on government service delivery. This is the third meeting following one held last week with members of Parliament from Bunyoro sub-region.
We have been meeting the regions, sub-regions in this country, meeting members of Parliament. One, to get their views and feedback on what government is doing in their areas. Also get issues that need address. And these meetings were as a directive of His Excellency the President. What takes stock of what we have so far done in your areas. And we also need to get answers of those other ongoing projects.
The members of Parliament raised a cross-section of issues affecting government service delivery in the sub-region. The need to scale up electricity, power supply featured prominently in the discussion.
The high cost for electric poles. Right Honourable, most people complain about the price.
I have villages like Kebukaongo, Buyula, Mudebera, Ruwanula, and Luabala. Those villages, you know, they've been circled and left without power.
The government decided that every district headquarters and headquarters, not neighboring, but headquarters, must be connected. We are supposed to move from the district headquarters to the sub-county. To go to the sub-county, you are bypassing people. The wires are connecting to sub-county headquarters. You let people complain. What happens from the sub-county headquarters then? Are we going to go village by village, parish by parish? Do we have that money?
Over 90,000 households in the sub-region have been earmarked to get free power connections under the government rural electrification project.
The ministry is now moving away from point sources or boreholes and the likes of protected springs to pipe schemes, especially for the rural growth centers and towns, because they are the efficient method of delivery.
Commenting about the forthcoming NAM summit to be held in Uganda, Nabanja called upon the members of Parliament to offer full support to the summit.
This country is going to host the Non-Aligned Movement Summit, where we are going to have 120 countries in Uganda. Colleagues, as we move along, I thought you needed this information so that we can move in unison. These people who are coming are high caliber delegates. We believe Uganda will benefit.
The meeting also discussed the ongoing and planned road construction projects in the country with particular emphasis on Busoga sub-region.
On these other roads like Iganga, Nova Kamuli and Kamuli Iganga, the Jinja Kamuli Iganga, Yes, those are on the pipeline.
The meeting was attended by the first and the third Deputy Prime Ministers, Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga and Right Honorable Lukia Nakadama respectively, the Government Chief Whip, Honorable Hamson Oboa, and the State Minister for Bunyoro Affairs, Honorable Namuyangu Jennifer Kacha. Doreen Nasasra reporting for UBC News.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this afternoon received a special message from the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The special message was delivered to the President at State House in Entebbe by the Emir's special envoy, who is also the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Mohammed bin Abdulaziz Al Khulaifi. During the meeting, President Museveni hailed the existing bilateral relation between Uganda and Qatar, which he said has great potential, especially in the areas of trade and investment. The President briefed his guest about the security situation in the Great Lakes region. He informed the delegation that what is needed is a new ideology of patriotism rather than sectarianism.
But what saved it was that force, the student movement, which linked up with the Felahin, the peasants, and that's how Uganda was saved. What Congo needs is a new ideology, ideology of patriotism rather than sectarianism, and then solving these short-term issues. So I think the Amir should, it's good that he has contacted us, but my advice is that he should support the East African process. The president of Burundi is now there. His Excellency Kenyatta is there. For us, we are supporting them. And there is no way we can fail to solve this problem, because we have the capacity.
Highly appreciated, Mr. President. And we agree with you that Qatar's strong support to the East African Committee is very essential under the African Union. And we have raised this issue to the African Unions themselves, that Qatar will never create another track, but to support the actual process that has been signed either in Nairobi or in Luanda.
Sent transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN mobile money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend. This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, a bill to prohibit genetically modified organisms is underway to Parliament for the second time. Led by former Ethics Minister and Bufumbira County Member of Parliament Nsaba Buturo, the legislators claim genetically modified organisms are a danger to African indigenous crops and life. A section of the lawmakers announced the move to reintroduce the bill alongside some non-governmental organizations at Parliament this Tuesday.
Ujiri Municipality Member of Parliament Asuman Vasalirwa was granted leave of the House to introduce a private member's bill on anti-homosexuality. On today's business of the House, the Anti-Homosexuality Bill had been scheduled to be read for the first time and then referred to the Legal Committee of Parliament for scrutiny. However, after several minutes of standoff, the Junior Minister for Investment, Evelyn Anite, informed the House that Minister Matia Kasaija had committed to have the certificate issued by Thursday this week.
Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Matia Kasaija, has asked me to come and inform the House that he would be with a certificate of financial implication on Anti-Homosexuality Bill on Thursday.
The delays in the issuance of the certificate of financial implication by Minister of Finance slowed down the process that had earlier on been treated as an emergency. The rules of procedure of Parliament require that all bills introduced in the House be accompanied by a certificate of financial implication, giving a picture of the impact of the bill on the economy.
I want to join other members of Parliament who are thinking that it's not so difficult for the Minister to bring that certificate here, and we carry on with the bill.
The certificate provides estimates of revenue and expenditure over a period of not less than 2 years after the bill comes into effect, which prompted the August House to question the government's stand on the matter.
It's a cultural fight. We are protecting the sovereignty of our people and our cultures, our families.
At the time, none of the ministers under the Minister of Finance docket were in attendance to respond to concerns. Until the certificate is secured, then the bill shall be ready to be read for the first time before being sent to the Legal Committee in consultation with the public.
Is it procedure okay for the Honourable Minister to come here to defend ministers using a law that is not necessary at this time?
Our children are being sodomized at school. Assuming it is your kid today who is being done like that. We asked for gazetting and we got it on the same day. Why don't you come up and just ask for an extension to Thursday? These are matters that are concerning all the citizens of Uganda. You cannot say that because we have 60 days. What about 60 days?
Although the provisions of rules of procedure provide for 45 days before introduction of the bill for consideration by the whole House, there are chances that the period could be cut short due to unforeseen delays. The quashing of the Anti-Homosexuality Bill in 2014 by court cannot be left unsaid when referring to the reasons that created a fertile ground for acts of homosexuality. Susan Naong and Gloria Guitabinji reporting for UBC TV.
The Uganda Women's Parliamentary Association has called for increased funding and empowerment of women on innovation and technological advancement. In commemoration of Women's Day, female members of parliament are concerned over the low number of women in the innovation business and little support given to women in the innovation sector. Under the global theme, Innovation for Gender Equity, WOPA highlights the need for equality and respect for women's rights. They have called for increased investment in innovation for economic empowerment of women, passing of laws that protect the rights of women in the digital era, and removal of barriers that hinder women and girls from involving in technological innovations.
The women's agenda. Currently, when you look at the ratios in education and everywhere, you realize that women who take up science subjects are few. And even when you come to the employment sector, we still have few women taking up high scientific jobs. So we as WOPA, we pledge to do more work to make sure that we have a budget that is engendered, a budget that will promote women in science, and also to have women access internet nationally. We also have the sports women or girls who have not yet been identified, and they're out there lying. They don't know where to tap, they don't know who to work with, but we are committed as WOPA to identify that talent, that girl who is lying there, who has never moved but is sleeping with a talent that needs to be explored. So the women agenda will have to be driven together with me and you and every other person in this nation, so that the girl child is treated equally like the boy child.
Also look at gender inequalities that we have in our communities. The gaps that exist in education, where some of the girls cannot continue with education, especially at primary and secondary level. Many of them drop out, and if they drop out at that level because of various issues, teenage pregnancies, child marriage that is raging at 30+%, issues of HIV/AIDS actually that is coming up among young people. All these are impediments for them to access education, but also learn and later benefit from technology. And so we need...
Actually, it has the highest teenage pregnancy in East Africa with a rate of 25%. This means as women, as Ugandans, we have quite a big role to play to see that these girls attain the kind of goal that they have always aimed at. There is no girl who goes out of education and remains the same. However much you have girls.
And some rather sad news, and Judge Kenneth Kairu is dead. Chief Justice Alphonse Owinye Dolo announced the death of Justice Kenneth Kairu,
the majority of the ruling
Judge
NRM
of Court of Appeal. He died at Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi, where he was taken for treatment.
The majority of the ruling NRM party members supported the motion vigorously.
The judiciary in the country is mourning the death of Court of Appeal Judge Justice Kenneth Kairu. The Chief Justice Alphonse Owinye Dolo said the judiciary regrets the loss of Justice Kenneth Kairu, who was undergoing cancer treatment at Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi.
Has been a valued member of the bench since his appointment on July 4th, 2013, and he will greatly be missed by the judiciary of Uganda and people who have known him. He was, through his actions and judgments, a human rights defender par excellence. He was born on the 11th November 1958. As a judiciary, we shall surely miss him. All that we ask is that the Lord receives him in glory for eternity.
Other people, including the Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, said the late justice defended the rule of law.
Because the law is technical and lawyers can easily mislead their clients, especially if they've got a desired outcome of any matter before them. He wasn't like that. And when he became a judge, he had the courage to interpret the law as it is, many times relying on the evidence before him. Because the job of a judge is to interpret the law in relation to the evidence that has been adduced before him. And he did that with courage. He always believed in the rule of law. But that is just to show the kind of man that he was, a man of principles. And it is sad that he's died this early, and may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Justice Kenneth Kairu died at the age of 65 and left a legacy in the judiciary, especially in Court of Appeal and Constitutional Court. He was one of the 13 justices serving in the Court of Appeal and Constitutional Court. Justice Kenneth Kairu was so prominent in the 2018 age limit case, where he gave a dissentive judgment at Mbale Court. In August 2021, he led justices of Court of Appeal to repeal Article 119 of the Constitution, which was allowing military courts to try civilians in military courts, although Attorney General appealed the decision in the Supreme Court. Justice Kenneth Kairu and other justices also repealed Section 25 of the Computer Misuse Act of 2011, which was addressing the issue of offensive communication. According to the judgment, Section 25 of the Computer Misuse Act violated the Constitution and the international laws in regard to freedom of expression. He was also involved in the election petition appeal cases of 2021 in Court of Appeal, among other cases. Deborah Nama Monde, UBC News.
Monde for that story there. Meanwhile, the late Justice Kenneth Kairu had opted to live a quiet life until he featured on the jury of the Supreme Court that handled the controversial presidential age limit petition of 2018, challenging the 2017 constitutional amendment that scrapped the presidential age limit and lower level leaders from the statutory law book of Uganda. As Robert Onyango now reports, the late Justice Kairu will ever be remembered for his outstanding dissenting submission, contrary to the 4 submissions of his other colleagues, constituting the jury of 5 judges in Mbale City.
On Tuesday, 9th October 1962, the country attained its independence.
Born in 1958, Justice Kenneth Kairu is a son to the late Reverend Eliakim Kamujundazo of Ruharu in present-day Mbara district. Kairu was pronounced dead this Tuesday, 7th March 2023 at 8 a.m. from Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi, Kenya. He holds a Bachelor of Law and Masters in Law, both obtained from Makerere University. He holds another diploma in legal practice from Law Development Center, as well as a Master of Arts in Education Policy and Development from Chambogo University. In 2013, Kairu, who joined the justice and legal sector in 1988, was appointed to the Uganda Court of Appeal after being tapped from his personal business of Kairu and Company Advocates. The name Kairu had largely remained silent, especially in the public domain, not until in 2018, during the controversial age limit hearing, where Kairu joined other 4 colleagues to decide the fate of scrapping of the presidential and local authority age limit from the Constitution in 2017.
Article 102B of the Constitution provides that a person is not qualified for election as president unless that person is not less than 35 years and not more than 75 years of age.
Kairu, however, chose to take his own path as he presented a dissenting judgment differing from the majority decision which had okayed the 2017 Parliament's decision.
They were brought up the floor of Parliament to appear as if they were a result of a debate, whereas not. Even members of Parliament present at the time of the amendments were introduced were not availed time to debate the proposed amendment. I find that there was no public consultation at all in respect of this bill.
In his judgment, Kairu urged that the amendment was in total breach of Uganda's constitution and rights of Ugandans.
I am alive to the fact that passing a bill does not require input of every individual Ugandan, even every member of Parliament. However, every bill requires public participation that is purposeful, well-intended, and meaningful. What happened in this case appears to have been just window dressing, even that a clumsy one. The framers of our constitution, the people of Uganda, were not contented with simply the right to vote in a free and fair elections as the only expression of their will. They expressly provided in the constitution for a wider role in the democratic process by the people. Articles 1, 2, and 8 of the Constitution, the people reserved for themselves the role in the legislative process, as had been echoed by President Museveni in his maiden speech on the steps of Parliament on January 29, 1986, which I have reproduced earlier in this judgment.
Although he has lived a low profile, but his 30-year career has been instrumental in shaping the future of Uganda through human rights preservation and agitation to uphold the rule of law.
I set out the story of St. Paul when he was about to be flogged and put in chains, but when they realized that he was a Roman citizen, the magistrate and the army commanders panicked because a Roman citizen could not be put in chains. If a Roman citizen could not be flogged 2,000 years ago, how can a Ugandan citizen, a member of parliament at that, be beaten publicly by police officers and subjected to cruel and inhuman treatment? This must stop.
He now joins the soul of his late first wife, Winnie Ikiriza Kakuru, who died in 2009, although he later got another engagement with one Charity in Atkunda, Kakuru, in 2012. At the time of his death, Kakuru has been serving as the non-executive director for Greenwatch Uganda, an associate professor at Uganda Pentecostal University, and external examiner at LODC, among others. Robert Anyango, UBC.
And may his soul rest in eternal bliss. Now let's go to the August House, where Parliament has cited corruption in the management of the National Social Security Fund. As the members of Parliament debated the report on the Select Committee on the State of Affairs at NSSF, the recommendations have largely been welcomed. The legislators hoped to adopt the report with few deliberations on amendments. However, Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, will have to first respond to the allegations against her. Parliament will wait until Thursday, March the 9th, for Minister Betty Amongi.
The Tuesday afternoon session, chaired by Speaker Anita Among, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, was the first to respond, agreeing with faulting the agreements between NSSF and various entities which were outside the authorization of the Attorney General, and the need to streamline the dual supervision of the fund. This could call for an amendment of the NSSF Act.
I agree that the full supervision of the fund should be streamlined back to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, as was recommended by His Excellency the President during the amendments of the NSSF Act.
The Minister for Finance, in his response, read by Minister Evelyn Anite, reiterates that the controversial 6 billion request by Minister Betty Amongi was irregular.
For the 10 years that NSSF was directly supervised by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, this scenario did not occur. It will not occur even when this is returned to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
A stalemate first ensued after some members of Parliament who were part of the board members of NSSF mentioned in the report to have illegally received 10% NSSF contributions decried an oversight for not being heard by the Select Committee.
The right to be heard means that a person must appear before an impartial tribunal, in this case, the committee, before it proceeds to render an adverse recommendation like it did.
The accused MPs include Magola Stephen, Werike Peter Christopher, and Agnes Kunihira, who are part of the NSSF board members.
The chair has a lot of time. He should allow us to talk because he did not give us the time at the floor, at the committee level.
But Agnes, but did you go to the committee as a workers' representative?
They called me for another issue. They never asked any question. He's here. If he asked me anything to do with that matter.
You ought, and this should go to all of us, the committee chairpersons, that every time you're going to make a recommendation and it's going to affect an individual, you must give that individual an opportunity to be heard. We shall debate, look at all these issues, and what will happen, the matter goes to court and the recommendations are quashed, and would have wasted a lot of our time.
The Speaker of Parliament found no room for stopping further debate. Some members wanted the matter to be expunged from the report, and a fair hearing is first given to the accused members.
We must do all it takes to preserve this report. Can I plead, Right Honorable, that we stand over the debate on only this part?
We are not standing over any debate. Have you heard?
I have heard, Right Honorable.
A decision was not taken by them to pay them. We must hold the persons who paid them culpable. If the person who paid them wants to recover from them, then he should recover from them.
The MPs condemn corruption that is eating up the fund.
And this is people's money. Somebody who has this money to go there and begin playing around with the people's money, we cannot entertain, as the senior is saying. In fact, my first prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, I wish somebody could take this message to the President. There is no way a better investigation will go on when the minister concerned is still the minister overseeing the program. Let the President do justice to this country, ask the minister to step aside as investigations continue.
The Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, whom the report recommends immediate resignation, was not in the House, forcing the debate to end prematurely.
I am not one of those who wants to hang Minister Amongi. Although she tried all her level best to access 6 billion outside the requirements, she did not succeed. There is nowhere in the report which mentions that Minister of Gender got the 6 billion money.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
And the debate in Parliament rages on. Now, as the country prepares to join the rest of the world in commemorating the International Women's Day, which falls Wednesday, that is tomorrow, the 8th day of March 2023, we continue to bring you women scientists who are contributing to the health sector. Irene Asaba Mujisha is a plastic and reconstruction surgeon working at Mulago National Referral Hospital. Take a watch.
Every 8th of March is observed as International Women's Day to recognize the contribution of women to society and national development. In the science space, women are positioning themselves to contribute to the health well-being of humanity. Irene Asaba Mugisha is one of the few plastic surgeons the country has. She is the only plastic surgeon at Mulago National Referral Hospital. Plastic surgery is a surgical involving the restoration and reconstruction of the human body and is divided into two main categories: reconstructive and cosmetic surgery. By press time, Asaba was working on a 5-year-old girl, a resident of Kawempe, who got involved in a border accident a month ago.
I've been working on a child, a 5-year-old, who had an accident and they got a soft tissue injury on the scalp. They lost scalp skin and the bone was left to be exposed. So we have been doing what they call scalp reconstruction to cover the exposed bone and realign the scalp accordingly. So that's the procedure that we just did, and it went well, successfully.
Asaba, being the only plastic surgeon at Mulago National Referral Hospital, serves almost all departments.
Burden of reconstructive needs is way too high in proportion to the plastic surgeons who are available in the country. So at the moment we're about maybe 15, some of whom are abroad. So currently there could be about 12 in the country, distributed within Kampala, and maybe one up country in Barara. So the burden is high. We cannot exhaust it.
But what inspired Asaba to choose what she does?
What inspired me? Many things. One, it's challenging. I like challenging specialties. And then it's challenging in such a way that every patient comes in a unique way. It's not like they read books or there's a formula, do ABCD, no. So what guides us is principles, and so the minute a patient walks in that door, you just start thinking, like, how am I going to sort them? You don't sleep until you know, okay, I'm going to do this. If this fails, I'm going to do this on table. So you have to have a plan A, B, C.
The number of patients requiring plastic surgery or reconstruction is also high, yet the specialists are few.
Post-burn, they have post-burn complications like scars that need to be released or contractures that need to be released. Most of them are trauma cases from accidents like this child we worked on. The others are patients who've had chronic wounds for some time, the diabetics, the immunosuppressed patients, that kind. So they come with wounds that have stayed for some time, and so we manage those accordingly. We excise those, and then tumor excisions, cancers, and all that.
Like any other surgical procedure, Asaba works with other nurses, and Nimusima Vastin is one of them.
The role of the theatre nurse is to assist the doctor. There are two types of theatre nurses. You can be a scrub nurse, you can be a running nurse. A scrub nurse, you scrub in with the doctor and stand on the table, on the operating table with the doctor, and you're in command of all the instruments that are going to be used to work on that patient.
Women in the medical profession have challenged young females to always aim higher.
I would like to inspire a girl child that you can make it, because we've also made it, irrespective of where you're going to start from. And Uganda still needs nurses out there, because nurses spend most of the time with the patient.
The government of Uganda has provided a conducive environment for women empowerment, although there are challenges that need to be addressed, like retention of girls in school. Marion Awori and Adia Nakuti for UBC News.
To Moroto district now, where 6 Turkana Kenyan nationals who were arrested during the cordon and search operations in different parts of Karamoja sub-region have been handed over to the Kenyan authorities at the 3rd Division headquarters in Moroto district. The suspects were arrested together with 8 Karimojang who were in possession of 4 guns between the 20th and 26th of February 2023. The Ugandan delegation was led by the 3rd Division Deputy Commander, Brigadier General Felix Busizori, while the Kenyan delegation was led by Turkana County Secretary and Head of Public Service, Peter Eripete. We have more in this story.
Since the start of Operation Usalama Kwawote in July 2021, many Turkana patrollees have been arrested alongside Karamojong warriors for illegal possession of firearms and participating in cattle rustling. Some were court-martialed, sentenced, and they are serving their punishments in Ugandan prisons. In February, the Kenyan delegation led by Cabinet Secretary for East African Community, Arid and Semi-Arid Land Development, Rebecca Maino, and Turkana County Deputy Governor Dr. John Erusi asked the Ugandan government to hand over the Kenyan nationals and serve their sentences in Kenya. Today, 6 Turkana Kenyan nationals were arrested between 20th and 26th February 2023 during the cordon and search operation in different parts of Karamoja were handed over to Kenyan government authorities led by Turkana County Secretary, Head of Public Service, Peter Eripete. Brigadier Bisorozi urged the Kenyan government to punish the suspects for breaking cross-border ties.
We release and hand over these Turkana suspects. We urge the Turkana County government penalize those we hand over for abusing the peaceful coexistence and cross-border security arrangements. This diplomatic pardon should not be taken for granted, as it may lead to impunity.
The Sorosi said whoever crossed to Uganda while armed will be arrested and charged in Ugandan courts of law.
Again, you interpret for them. And you are arrested. We shall not hand you over. You will be charged in court. Those who will again be caught violating Ugandan laws will be arrested and arraigned before court and charged for their offences.
Eripeti thanked Uganda for allowing Kenyan pastoralists to grace in Uganda and the diplomatic pardon.
Also to take the opportunity to thank the President of the Republic of Uganda, the people of Uganda, and the officers serving here for having accorded the Turkanas chance to come and grace in this particular area, because we have suffered, Turkana has suffered, northern Kenya suffered the drought more than 4 years, and there's virtually nothing they come to.
At the moment, Eripeti stressed that they are sensitizing the Turkanas on the cross-border peaceful coexistence.
I want to state categorically that we are not allowing anybody to come and do criminality when you are in the host country. Once somebody is crosses over whichever side of the border, even in that person should be subject to the laws of that particular country.
The 8 Ugandan natives who were arrested alongside the 6 Turkana nationals are yet to be arraigned in courts of law.
We'll now take a short break and return with what's happening in the latest of business news.
Paying your bills the old way.
Let's go. Just need to buy some power.
Paying your bills with the My Airtel app.
Bro, there's a line.
You have the power in your pocket. The power to instantly pay your bills hassle-free. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Oh, you're back.
The Right Honorable Dr. Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, who also doubles as the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs, congratulates His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and the entire women fraternity of Uganda and the East African community on the commemoration of the International Women's Day under the theme Equal Opportunities in Education, Science and Technology for Innovation and a Gender Equal Future. The ministry pledges to continue serving the country through various initiatives and priority programs that subscribe to Uganda's development plans, Vision 2040, SDGs and the East African Regional Integration Agenda.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Uganda Water and Environment Week is back. Join us as we deliver value internally and externally by promoting a multinational integrated approach that links all sectors of water and environment, and also explore and deliberate on the water and environment resources to climate resilience. The week commemorates 3 sector days of World Water Day, World Forestry Day, and World Meteorological Day. The Uganda Water and Environment Week will take place from 12th to 17th March 2023 at the Ministry of Water and Environment headquarters in Luzira, under the theme Water and Environment for Climate Resilient Development.
Uganda Water and Environment Week is organized by Ministry of Water and Environment through the Water Resources Institute with support from development partners.
Sent transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN, and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Ugandan women have entered and set up business enterprises that support the construction industry. Lydia Mwesigwa of Mesha Steel, located at Busega, told UBC that she's the only woman in manufacturing steel products in Uganda and the entire East African community region. Her enterprise manufactures a range of products that are used in the construction industry, as we hear in this story.
Uganda's construction industry has grown by leaps and bounds, and they are growing industry that use both imported and local solid-state scrap to manufacture steel. Meshi Steel Limited, based in Busega, has been in steel manufacturing for the last 8 years. It manufactures a range of construction steel products. The proprietor is a woman entrepreneur, Lydia Mwesigwa. She claims to be the only unique woman in steel manufacturing in Africa, with a countrywide market, and owns big shops in Uganda. Lydia told UBC that she employs a hard-working team that is persistent and action-oriented, and she has sustained her enterprise through research and development.
As Meshas, we went to South Africa to scope some of the suppliers. We have big suppliers in South Africa. We have Canis Steel and so many other companies. So we wanted to buy their materials and also meet those big suppliers. So we are given a big advantage to move with the excellence.
In her administration of Meshi Steel Limited, 90% of the administration staff are women, with at least 40% in the production department.
In driving, we have women, so we are kind of unique. we are grateful. As we are going to celebrate the Women's Day, as Mesha Steel, we are privileged to be celebrating with the women in the whole world.
In her 8-year journey, Lydia Mwesigwa emphasizes hard work and resilience in competition, which she says that has helped her in her business.
Those big giants, the men, the boys in the industry, they promote also women. They have promoted us
in her career as a steel manufacturer, Lydia Mwesigwa and mesh steel workers have won awards starting in 2018 when they won the WOMA 2018 Best Women Exhibitor, WOMA 2019 Best Women Exhibitor, UELA 2022 Women Entrepreneur of the Year, 2022 CBS Peusa Best Exhibitor, and WOMA 2022 Best Women Exhibitor. Despite her resilience in her manufacturing undertaking, Lydia Mwesigwa cites challenges, one of which is being undermined as a woman.
Let us be hardworking women. Let us be go-getters. Let us not fear competition. Yes, we can. Me, I'm working alongside men, but I'm able to work alongside them and also meet them on high-profile boats. So women, yes, we can.
Despite her strong commitment, Lydia Mwesigwa is married to Paul Mwesigwa with 3 children.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the country, His Excellency, the President of Uganda, who is promoting women, the woman manufacturers. My husband puts meat on a table. I'm able also to put a little bread on the table. We work alongside each other and support. Women are there to support our families, our houses.
As a woman in enterprise, Lydia Mwesigwa is also a board member of WOMA, UELA and RFSU. Deborah Namamonde, Joel Vobia, UBC News.
Interesting story there, and of course other women being encouraged to delve into that business of steel manufacturing in this country and also go beyond our borders. Now, State Minister for Information, Communication and Technology, Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao, has instructed leaders to revise conditions attached to accessing financial support. She was on an assessment tour of the PDM in Central Region.
Mukono and Dibuyikwi, which the State Minister for ICT, Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao, traversed in the assessment of parish development mode operations. The trend is optimistic about improving people's household incomes.
Because this is the most wonderful program so far the government have organized for the ordinary person. We've been telling these people that this is the first program which is, I'm sure, is going to be very successful because it is for the ordinary person, the poorest among the poor. And if we do this, I can assure you our people are going to benefit a lot.
Kayunga district has 71 parishes and has disbursed at least 37 million shillings to each parish.
Okulaba nti sente kakati zivudde kwa akaunti ya SACCO zize erimwe. Sente zino zitambulira mitendera.
Minister Nabosa applauded opposition politicians for participating in the program.
In the opposition, they have realized that this program is for everybody. They are now coming up. At first, they thought it's going to be for only NRM supporters. But maybe after the sensitization, which has been good, the opposition has also turned up to participate in on this program, and because the people, the voters, all voters, whether they voted you or not, they must benefit out of this program. So they have turned up to to agree that really this program is for everybody and they should support it.
Legislators in Kayunga district have committed continuous oversight to the PDM.
Tunabeera tugatta ebyobufuzi buli mu nsonga yonna ekyo kikyamu.
Kusaba bonna ba chairpersons ba committees, parish committees ne SACCOs ez'enjawulo, essente zino muzikozese olw'okwebbulula mu bwavu gwe mulamu omukulu.
In the Mukono district, 97 parishes are expected to receive 37 million shillings each after the verification exercise.
We have been in the exercise of sensitizing, training the financial management, training on how the funds are going to be used, and selecting the beneficiaries on ground. And our request to the Ministry for Local Government is at least to reduce on the guidelines and we become a bit flexible so that our users can ably access or use the guidelines.
The PDM exercise in Eboyikwe is slow, as leaders attribute this to the limited facilitation to trainers.
Today our people come from very far in the villages. Like for example, you call someone from Nkokonjeru up to here, so many kilometers. He travels, uses his own money to and fro, comes here, there is no lunch, there is no water. You make that person sit in a hall the whole day and you do not expect so much from that person. So it wasn't fully facilitated like we expected.
Minister Nabosa Sebugwao instructed continuous sensitization of the public on the PDM. Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC.
Sports news now, and we look at basketball. Uganda's most decorated basketball club, City Oilers, has continued earnest preparations for upcoming Basketball Africa League due in Egypt next month. The club trains at Silver Springs Hotel in Bugolobi, with some of its fans following proceedings with anticipation of great tidings. Here is our sports reporter John Bansentamu with more.
After sealing a record 8th consecutive National Basketball League title, City Oilers Basketball Club is preparing to debut at the Basketball Africa League regular season. BAL, as this championship is fondly called, is now down to 12 teams, spread in 2 groups. City Oilers is in the Nile group that has Egypt's Al Ahly, Mozambique's Ferroviário de Beira, Angola's Petro de Luanda, Guinean outfit Slack, and South Africa's Cape Town City Tigers. These will have their regular season in Egypt, with the Oilers in early preparations.
Obviously, there are some weaknesses that we saw in South Africa that we need to correct, and because of that, we might add in 1 or 2 players to reinforce the team.
Let's go, Oilers! Let's go! The team holds a thrice-a-week training sessions at Silver Springs Hotel Bugolobi, with the fans anticipating a great outing.
It's our debut. We expect to, of course, not to be there for numbers. We want to go out there and compete, give out the results, and of course we will be representing our country, Uganda.
My boys have worked so hard to be in this position, so I'm very sure they also expect to qualify to go to Kigali come May.
I expect good results, because we've come from far away. The team has really worked and they are still getting prepared for the better stage and the tougher stages. Cairo, we shall succeed.
We expect nothing less. We expect them to, bring it back home so that we all celebrate together, and we are wishing them the best to qualify.
The discipline of the players that pushing us to BAL. So we are focused. We are determined to take the championship.
The BAL regular season is complete by the Sahara Conference, whose regular season starts this weekend in Dakar, Senegal. Tunisia's US Monastir headlines a group that has Kwara Falcons from Nigeria, AS Douanes of Senegal, Abidjan Basketball Club, Mali's Stade Malien, and Rwanda's Energy Group. The top 4 teams from each group will enter the quarterfinal playoff in Rwanda in May to decide the African champion. John Barnes, Centum, UBC News.
It is exactly 9 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. We've finally come to the end of this first edition of News Tonight. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. See you at 10.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Right Honorable Dr. Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, who also doubles as the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs, congratulates His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Republic of Uganda, and the entire women fraternity of Uganda and the East African community on the commemoration of the International Women's Day under the theme Equal Opportunities in Education, Science and Technology for Innovation and a Gender Equal Future. The ministry pledges to continue serving the country through various initiatives and priority programs that subscribe to Uganda's development plans, Vision 2040, SDGs and the East African Regional Integration Agenda.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Certainly it would have made his famous father proud.
And the 18-year-old Gambian left foot on the left foot. Oh! Oh my God! Towards the penalty area. That is sensational. The Tunisia defence have been caught out, caught cold. It's a brilliant little.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.